Tell Fecha Nagi I love her. Tell Fecha Nagi I need her. Tell Fecha Nagi no go cry and no go out with Mitsfunai.
Genius. He was a genius. He was this brilliant Hawaiian comedic genius. He was a genius. You will never find anyone ever again like Rap Reiplinger, ever again.
I guess it was late afternoon, and all of a sudden, you know, me unknowingly, this faded light green busted up Volkswagen comes, you know, screeching around the corner, and here it comes like that, and, you know, practically does a U-E right in front of the back door. And then I look at that, and, you know, there's Rap, you know, out he pops, and there's like, you know, just, I mean, you'd think that was a closet that he had in the car. Things, books, you know, coffee cups, soda cups, napkins, used napkins, whatever. And only the driver's seat, no back seat, you know, and in fact, there wasn't even a driver's seat. It was on a box or something, but it was like as if it was a total out Volkswagen, and only, you know, and only the engine worked. And out he pops, you know, and I was like so stunned to see this guy, and it was like, I started talking about Rap. Yeah, that's him.
He was funny, man. He always had like a paper bag with one extra set of clothes, and that was it. Even though we were going like 6 or 7 places, and he just like, after you do the gig, you just go back to the hotel room and you just like wash them in the sink, wring them out and hang them out on the balcony.
When I first met him, what struck me enormously was the glint in his eye. He had extraordinarily lively eyes, you know. And I mean, I don't really know anything about Rap as a private person, but I suspect, like most of us, he'd had his ups and his downs, but he could convert all of that into a good-humored observation and comment on life, and especially life around us here in Honolulu 25 years or so ago, when maybe it was a little pleasanter in many ways.
Along with what we were doing, the music was going on, and there was just creativity, just oozing and flowing, and new groups coming together, new sounds, you know. Kikoalo became real popular, Slacky and stuff, and it just all jammed together. Kalapana, CMK, I mean, it just goes on and on. There wasn't a place, you know, in town where you could go that there was something new that was happening, and it was always, you know, hey, you seeing these guys there, or you seeing these guys there, you know, you turn your friends on to some new group, or, you know, some new thing that was happening.
That's even the Sunday Manoa time too. You know, so Robert and Noland and Peter were doing the same thing too. Like they were taking traditional and roots and cultural music and giving it a fresh attitude. And Rap, James and Ed were doing the same thing too.
No one had seen skits, comedy skits in Pidgin, done with a heavy clank Pidgin, and doing this with really identifiable island characters. No one had seen it ever, and that's why they came to see us.
Well, in comedy, it's, you know, so important, the element of surprise, and Rap owned that. You know, you never knew what he was going to do next, and so even in our shows at the Territorial Tavern, Edward and I on stage never knew what Rap was going to do. He would do things that would just literally, not only would the audience fall out of their chairs laughing, but Ed and I were just, the show stopped, you know, and cracking up and laughing, and Rap would hold a deadpan face, you know, which would make us laugh even more, you know, and that was his genius, that was his gift, to see him perform that. I mean, you never knew what he was going to do.
When local people argue, especially in Pidgin, that's hard to understand.
You dang Knapp. How come I stay you go?
Because I was going in came, you come no call.
I was gonna call when I stay coming already.
Okay, next time you gonna come, go try call.
Next time I'm not gonna come.
Okay, next time you gonna call me, I'll stay, me I don't go. But if you gonna call me, I don't stay, no stay, go on.
Of course you're not gonna stay, you stay calm. Whatever me, I stay calm, and you stay going, and you stay going, I stay calm, and what? Next time I'm gonna call for you, you gonna go, you gonna stay what?
Pardon me?
There is a big difference between stand-up comedy and non-stand-up comedy. You know what I'm talking about. When you're a stand-up comic, you throw out the jokes. What this show is all about is getting into characters, local characters, checking them out, going in depth, seeing what, where they're at, catching the soul and recreating it on stage. There's a big difference between popping a joke and popping a person.
Yeah, that was the amazing part about rap. Just every facet of being local. He had pretty much a stock character down, and like that, he'd come up with it.
Jimmy, James, Kavika Rap, myself, we come from island families, and our cultural milieu was particularly island, and especially Kavika in his case. Big Auntie Guerrero, the Kodak Hula show, Lila Guerrero, his mother, one of the premier hula dancers in Hawaii for many, many years. Auntie Mary, just a wonderful Auntie Mary. You guys, what are you doing over here? Gone funny kids. What, you drunk? I mean, that kind of family background that we came from. So in terms of just garnering that kind of portrayals and characters, it was very easy for us to do that.
Halava lava aka hule hule chicken. Kurenyu ala zaka puka puka pants. Coconut okamana pua pakalolo. Okazu namasui dancing kachikach.
Another thing that was happening in the Renaissance was hula, and halaus and kumuhulas and because even that was becoming a phenomenon, so to speak. Rap captured the comedy in that, not trying to demean in any kind of way, but just, the hula dancer, the hands are the words, and of course the chanter, is giving the words, but then he mixed English with, pidgin and, Hawaiian, and then played the hula dancer as well.
17 billion team. Oh, hinalea o manini kachamiram. Cruise Kalakawa in the 57 Chevy. One big fat cockroach go hiram with a sleeper.
We would just do it. I don't know if you understand that. We would just do it. We would, Porky Tevis Trio. What about this? What about that? How would do? Oh, she would do this. Oh no, you want to do that? Well, what about the song? Oh no, let's sing this song, so that our collaboration and our processing, our creative processing, was spontaneity, improvisation, and just a stick-to-itness that we would stick to it and then we'd end. Or if we didn't come to an end, we would leave it and just go, let's go to Kaahea Grill down on the other. Let's go eat. And typical Hawaiians, let's go eat and we'll go sleep and we'll come back to it. So that we would go with the process until we had to stop.
Rehearsals would stop because we were laughing so hard, and then it wasn't like he would say something and we'd start laughing. It wasn't like he'd stop there. He'd keep building on what he just said, just building it so it got funnier and funnier and funnier. I mean, just, it was like, he was almost torturing us with laughter, almost just waiting to when you're just about to stop laughing, and like he had it all lined up in his head. I mean, rap was just brilliant that way. I mean, you couldn't get enough of him.
Welcome aboard Mahalo Airlines, Flight 513 to Wailuku, Hana, and Budapest. You may unfasten your safety belts at this time. We do ask, however, that you observe the no smoking sign to minimize the chances of blowing up while in the air.
Because he was so outrageous with it, because it was so light-hearted, he could evoke tutus as well as glamour pussies, as it were, and of course mock them deliciously as he was doing it.
Room service, please.
Go sit on one of your hoods, Russell. Housekeeping. Oh, no, Cherry. You punk, show me off. Room service. Can I help you?
This is Mr. Fogarty in room 1225. I'd like to order some dinner.
Huh?
This is Mr. Fogarty. I'd like to have my dinner sent up to my room 1225.
And what was your room number?
1225.
One more time, please.
1225.
1225. That's a Mr. Frogtree.
Fogarty.
Can I help you, Mr. Frogtree? Stand for it. That's so cool. 1014.
All actors are curious about gender. I mean, you know, Danny Kaye and Olivier used to love doing female impersonation for the Royal Variety Command performances in London at one time. So there's nothing new about it. It goes back to Roman times. But maybe it certainly hadn't existed in a somewhat puritanical, howly, defined culture, say, between the wars, and then that all started to change.
The old systems, the old cultural realities were not viable. They were not happening. It was not a part of our consciousness and our life. That is to say, hula dancers in plastic hula skirts, Hawaiian singers with red carnation lace on and white pants and white bucks. And so that by the early 70s, you had a different consciousness about time and place. And that was the seeds of what we now call today the Hawaiian Renaissance. But the Renaissance did not only affect the performing arts, it affected the politics, the social consciousness, the idea of aina, the idea of place. Where are we? What are we? Who are we?
Like music before video, they didn't have that, like they had on the radio. You have to imagine the situation. So same thing, like prior to rap, them was Keke Kahamanua and all those guys, and they were like only on vinyl. So you have to like imagine it. So what the pioneering thing that Rap and James and Ed did was bring it to the stage, bring like the TV to the stage, and then the humor was so funny. I used to sit up in the light booth with Arnold Hero. That's how it just every night I could laugh because there was a lot of free form, spontaneous stuff. Yeah, like jazz. They had like their skits down, like how we have songs down when we play. So like you're not really working, yeah. Like it's like jazz.
This here pop actuator walks into a bar and says, "Hey, give me a liquefied V25." Bartender says, "Want that scan? Want that aspirated?" Aspirated, he says, "And make it a double. I got a heavy mobilization tonight, and boy, is she sequence." I got a million. Well, it's time to phase.
It's all about placement. How you place things together, how you place it, and he know how to place music in order to place it with humor. So he had a genius in that.
And I'd like to do it for you now. This is a story about the day I died. Body surfing point panic and got caught in a tide. Swept 500 miles out to sea. It took the Coast Guard 4 days to find me. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm sad.
Let me tell you a story about us going around and trying to find a place to do what we were doing, what we call cabaret comedy. We would go to every club we would go to, every place we would go to, would ask us if we sang Hawaiian songs, if we sang music. And we would say, no, we're comedians, we're comic actors. And they would look at us like they had no idea of what we were talking about, which they didn't.
Everything was based around improv. that's why we called ourselves an improvisational group. And we sort of scripted some things, and to the improvisational purists, they'd say, well, you guys not improv in that sense. But it was like 90% of it was improv, you know. I mean, we had some certain stock things that we're going to go in this direction, but it was all improv. And even Rap's albums, the Poi Dog album and his Raps Away, that's a lot of that is improv too. I mean, you know, you guys doing it, I mean, the crew, you know, just watching Rap, you're cracking up because you never know what he's going to do.
Looking for a car? Perhaps an automobile? Well, anyway, you look at it, you came to the right place. Take a look at this new Cherry 1973 Huevo Ranchero. The sucker's loaded. Tinted engine, power floors, steam vents. We even get good tires on top of this car.
You have to have a nose for comedy. You have to be able to sniff that there's comedy around here somewhere, no matter how straight the situation looks. And Rap had that. Rap had a great nose for comedy, like great wines and stuff, you know.
Here, let me demonstrate. Let's say this is a man. One man, alone, by himself, cannot get a job done. But with help from his fellow men, working together, we can make things happen. So come on, work with me, Willie Mana Willie, and vote for me for representative, okay? And let's work together.
Give your help to Willie Mana Willie, independent Republican candidate for representative, because he needs all the help he can get. And remember, no be silly. Vote Willie!
Even now I try to think back of some of the things that, how the sketch went, and a lot of it was left open to improv, and so there's no documentation of how funny it really was, the outrageousness of it, which is kind of sad, but hey, that's just the way it was. You had to be there. You had to saw us or you didn't. You either experienced rap or you didn't, you know. The closest you get is Raps Away.
So, what? You ready, huh? Okay. Come, because I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Auntie Maria Lani. She's this big celebrity star like that, because she get her own television, TV cooking show. She don't cook the TV, she cook the food on top of the TV. Come on.
He expressed to me that he liked the old man, he liked the old Portuguese man underneath the house. And of course, he had a great affinity for Auntie Maria Lani because Auntie Maria Lani was really the extension. If you look at all of his wahines, it was really an extension of his mother, his Auntie Jane, Big Auntie, and of course all the titas that we know in Hawaii if you were brought up in a Hawaiian family or Hawaiian style family.
What is it? Not too sweet, not too, what is it? Not too, but yes, right.
So what we have to do right now is we have to make sure everything is all fresh and ready to get cooked. So take out the chicken and you guys go check the chicken with Auntie to make sure that chicken is fresh. Go check your chicken with Auntie. Go check your chicken now. Go check them now. Go. Chicken is fresh. And the wine, you know, must be special. The wine must be not too sweet, not too rancid, but just right, you know?
In Booga Booga, we did this thing called Kukuyu Asuwafu. And I played this Japanese host to a cooking show. And Rap came on as the Blala guy who was going to make his famous recipe. And it was fried egg surprise, which was all we did was get a hot plate and put in some oil, which was uru. And that went on for a while. And we just cooked up an egg. That was the whole skit. But what we did in between that was, you know, just cooking this egg. Ta-da! So off of that came Auntie Mahelani, where he just broadened it, where he was like, I guess a Julia Childs with the oven in the back, and then just take the simple thing of the chicken and then he's going to saute it with the wine, and then he's just slowly going to get drunk, you know. And I said, oh, okay, I smell the comedy. It's there, you know.
Remember, while you're tenderizing your chicken now, you have to make sure that the wine is not too sweet. Go check them, go check them, not too sweet, go. Not too rapid. The wine must be just right. So go check them, go, it's important. Go check them, it's important.
You never got the same take twice. You know, it was never. And it was the same way in the recording studio, because I used to go in when he was in, he'd invite me in and give my opinion and stuff like that. But he'd play, say, 2 or 3 characters, and he'd go and play one voice and go all the way through, and then come back, play the other character, and then go all the way through in between the other person talking and making it sound spontaneous, and then come back and do a 3rd character, and knowing where everyone else is breathing, and it's all him. It was just phenomenal, you know. You try it, and you see how hard that is to do, and make it sound as if it's conversational.
This may sound a little strange, but when I was at Liverpool at the Playhouse in the late 50s, I, of course, became greatly acquainted with 4 young lads who later were known as the Beatles. And there was something of the same kind of pleasure in each other's company between these 3 young men here in Honolulu, Rap and Ed and Jim. And those 4 boys on Merseyside.
I wanted to go up and hug him and just kiss him on his lips. He was just this wonderful ball of energy, just effervescent, just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful man. And I was artistically and personally attracted to him because of his energy. Very good energy, positive energy, the kind of energy that actors like to thrive on. You know, it was reciprocal, and it was just really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think about him a lot more than people may think, especially now when the comedy I'm writing or stuff like that. I was thinking, oh, what would brother do? And I miss his input, you know, him turning it from really great stuff into the outrageous, you know, and just as a friend, just to go hang out. You know, I used to go hiking a lot. He turned me on to hiking. I haven't gone hiking since he left us, but we used to go camping in Monowilly and take my son with us and stuff. And hey, you know, Jimmy, like, go hiking over here, or you know, because he was really a big fan of the outdoors and solitude, you know, stuff. So yeah, that was nice. I used to go hiking and stuff, because along the trails we just talk and about life. And of course, always when you're talking about life, the writer going straight to the comedy, crack each other up, and that's what I miss. His company, big time. You know, you realize how dependent you were on him for comedy, and just as a friend.
Hey, how you stay, huh? Come inside the house over here. You always welcome over here at my house. We are friends over here in Hawaii. So then maybe we go eat some fish around, eh? So, you know, you get time for stay or what? Oh, good. You know, I was reading in a paper the other day, this guy said Hawaii was the melting pot of the Pacific. I had thoughts about that. I think Hawaii is more like one solid bowl of the Pacific. I'll tell you why, because you get one guy tomato, one guy lettuce, one guy is the celery. They're all inside the pot together, but they're all different, you know. Me, I live in proof of the people over here in Hawaii. You know what my nationality is, eh? Oh, just by looking, what you think? Eh?